Hello and welcome. My name is Andrea Lendy, and we are going to share a short chapter this evening from Life After Lupus, my book that I wrote. Just give you a quick peek of the cover. Um, Released last November, a couple of incidences that I had the opportunity to go through and overcome. Two bouts of lupus that I've had in my life. The first one took 3 years, and so it was a long time of not feeling well and inside and out of doctors' offices and ER rooms, and finally found some natural healing. And I did see a medical doctor for most of that 3-year healing process. He was up in Boulder, Colorado, and used both natural and meds. But I was one who couldn't take medicine. I was allergic to so many meds. As I had been in different ER rooms and seeing different doctors, I had experienced allergic reaction after allergic reaction. So this particular physician, he prescribed about 6 different natural supplements for me to take, which over time and doing some other right things for my body was very healing. So cell by cell, my body was being regenerated, and after 3 years, I was healthy. And that's the fun part of this book, is that now we're into those chapters in terms of that I was feeling well, and that's fun to talk about. It was a long, kind of drawn out process in terms of not feeling well. And lupus, if you don't know what that is an autoimmune disease where the immune system turns on the person and can't any longer determine which is a foreign bacteria or entity that should be fighting or not. So it takes on fighting the body. And thankfully, it's not fighting me anymore. So I'm very grateful for that. But it was a strict 3-year regimen in terms of food. I became very plant-based diet. That was very healing to me, and took a lot of supplements and did some other things that maybe isn't mainstream to be well, but I am well today and thankful for that. So again, this is the fun part of the book. This chapter is called Health After Lupus. So many changes and new freedoms were found with the healthy new life I was given. Everyday battles of pain and fatigue had disappeared. And how lovely was that? The changes were small at first and took time, but after 3 years, they were hugely noticeable. The simple tasks of cleaning our home and cooking meals were easy again, and that used to be very difficult. I couldn't clean my whole house at one time. I don't even know that I took on cleaning one room. If I did, it's kind of a blur now, but I'm sure I did in those 3 years. But now it was simple. It was easy. I could do it all and not be winded. I continued on the vegetarian diet for years, so our menu didn't change all that much. My husband had joined me on the vegetarian diet, so it was kind of nice to be able to just make the one meal instead of lots of different meals at one time. However, the ease of preparing the meals became so much more noticeable. I could stay awake at night, which was nice, and not have to nap from the minute I got home from work until bedtime. Activities increased, and I was able to work out with vigor again. I'd always worked out, so it was nice to be able to kind of push myself a little bit. We traveled when we had the time. I was also more productive at work. I am eternally grateful for the path of healing that I was led to be on, as it was a complete healing that I experienced and not just masked with medications. There's so many different symptoms that we have with different meds, and I was very fortunate to be able to just allow my body to heal. Now that didn't mean I didn't have to do some things to make that happen. I was living the kind of life that didn't facilitate a healthy body. I was eating all the wrong things, working way too hard, way too long, and a lot of stress. And I just never took any time off, ever. So, our bodies don't like to do well. They don't like to work for us when we overwork them. So it's important to take care of our bodies. Eventually, I was able to eat more and more of the kinds of foods I had been allergic to for so long. And within 10 years, I was eating a whole spectrum of foods to include meat and dairy and wheat. I had taken all those out because I was allergic to the wheats and the dairies and things like that. It was so fun, I have to tell you, to just have that, bread. We made a lot of bread in our bread maker back then. So the nice thing is it didn't have all the preservatives. It's like store-bought bread. But it had been so long that I hadn't had that kind of thing. It was just a joy to be able to add that back in. I had the normal fatigue that a mother of 3 kiddos, age 3 and under, would have. But I was healthy and didn't return to doctors for any kind of medical advice or consultation for years, like literally years. I was 33 when I got well, 35 when I started having kids, and it was 47 before I needed to really return to any doctoral care. My close friends and family told me that I should just keep having babies, but my age did prohibit me. I was 39 when we had our last child, and that was it for me. I knew that my time frame was I wouldn't have any more kids at the age of 40 and up, so I was done. Now, a lot of women today do that sort of thing, but I didn't. I knew how old I was going to be, which is how old I am now. When my last one left, I think it was 50. I was going to be 56, and when I was 35 and 40, 56 seemed really old, right? That's what happens. But now at 58, I don't feel any older than I did when I was 40 or 30. It's just that I am. And isn't that a bummer? I know, like in here and in our spirits, we still feel like we're teenagers. We just don't look it. And sometimes our energy wears out a little sooner than if we were 15, 18, 20 years old. But I love that I still have all kinds of energy, and I can go from 5 in the morning till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to take a nap here and there, and that doesn't mean I wouldn't like to go to bed super early sometimes. But since I'm up really early, I tend to go to bed fairly early as well. Not some nights. Some nights it's like, oh, we'll steal another hour just to watch something on TV and have a little fun instead of all work and no play. But anyway, I am very grateful for the healing that I have been privy to, that I have been privileged to experience. I know a lot of people don't, but there are a fair number of people who have done the same things as I have, and we seem to be well. Not that that it's a perfect kind of medicine for everybody, but one of the common factors in terms of healing truly is our diet, what we're eating. We have to be careful that we're not putting all kinds of preservatives and chemicals in our body. They weren't meant to have those, and for us to then have to process them. We also have to be careful that we don't have a lot of chemicals around us. There's nothing we can do about what is around us that's not in our home that we don't but we can use cleaner stuff in our homes, from toothpaste to shampoo to cleaning to all of it. We can choose better. And that's another change that I made a little bit later on in life, and it has served me very well. So much healing to each of you, and being well. You know, it's one thing. It's one thing to have experienced a healing, but it's another thing to just feel well. And so I do as much as I can so that I can feel well, even at the age that I'm at, even with the history that I've had. It's what I can do today so that I feel well today and tomorrow, because what I eat today is going to impact me tomorrow. So I'm pretty careful as I can be, to make sure that I'm taking care of my future self just tomorrow by eating well today. All right, I hope you have a wonderful week, and it is always my pleasure to hang out with you guys. I know I didn't get a chance to do that last week, so I'm sorry about that. We were in North Dakota visiting some family and hanging out up there and enjoying ourselves, so I didn't have an opportunity to come on and share a chapter or hang out. And it feels like it's been a really long time. So thanks for coming back, and thanks for hanging out tonight with me. Have a lovely Memorial Day as we remember those who have served us, those who have gone before us and served us in our country so we can have the freedoms that we have today, those who have lost their lives for us. So I remember those folks and keep those close to my heart. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of this long weekend. Thanks.